Have you ever wondered why breaking a bad habit feels so much harder than creating one? Why is it easier to scroll endlessly on your phone than to read a book? Why do we keep procrastinating, eating unhealthy food, or staying up late, even when we know these habits are making our lives worse? The answer isn't that you're lazy, and it isn't because you lack discipline. The truth is far more fascinating. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Millions of years ago, survival depended on conserving energy and repeating behaviors that led to rewards. Every time our ancestors found food, shelter, or safety, their brains stored those actions as successful patterns. The brain learned one simple rule: if something worked before, do it again. This system made survival possible. But in the modern world, that same mechanism creates unexpected problems. Today, your brain can't easily distinguish between finding food after days of hunger and receiving another notification on your phone. To your brain, both create anticipation of a reward, and every reward triggers one of the most powerful learning systems ever developed: dopamine. Many people believe dopamine is the chemical of pleasure, but that's only part of the story. Its real purpose is motivation. Dopamine doesn't reward you after something happens. It pushes you to repeat behaviors that might lead to another reward. That's why you feel the urge to check your phone every few minutes. Why opening social media feels automatic. Why eating sugary foods is so difficult to resist. Each small reward strengthens the neural pathway responsible for that behavior. Imagine walking through a forest. The first time you cross it, you must force your way through thick vegetation. It's difficult, but if you keep using the same path every day, eventually a trail appears. Walking becomes effortless. Your brain works in exactly the same way. Every repeated behavior strengthens a neural pathway. Eventually, that action requires almost no conscious effort. It becomes a habit. This is why habits feel automatic, not because you're making decisions, but because your brain already made them long ago. The fascinating part is that your brain doesn't judge whether a habit is good or bad. It only asks one question: has this behavior worked before? If the answer is yes, the pathway becomes even stronger. This explains why breaking bad habits feels uncomfortable. When you try to change your routine, your brain suddenly loses its familiar shortcut. Now it must spend more energy making conscious decisions. And your brain hates wasting energy. Remember, the brain evolved during times when every calorie mattered. Saving energy often meant surviving another day. That's why new habits initially feel exhausting. Exercise feels harder than staying on the couch. Studying feels harder than watching videos. Cooking feels harder than ordering fast food. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you, it's simply following the path of least resistance. But here's the incredible part: the same mechanism that created bad habits can create good ones. Every healthy behavior, repeated consistently, begins carving a brand new neural pathway. At first, the path is weak. You must consciously choose it every day. But repetition changes everything. Slowly, the new pathway becomes easier. Eventually, it becomes your brain's preferred route. This is why people who exercise regularly often say they miss working out when they skip a day. Their brains have already built a new shortcut. The habit no longer requires constant motivation. It has become automatic. The secret isn't having more willpower, it's making repetition easier than quitting. Small actions repeated consistently always outperform massive efforts performed only once. Your brain doesn't transform overnight. It transforms through repetition. Every decision you make today slightly reshapes the architecture of your mind. Every repeated action strengthens one pathway while weakening another. So the next time you catch yourself repeating a habit you wish you could escape, remember this: your brain isn't your enemy. It's simply protecting patterns that once seemed valuable. And the beautiful thing about the human brain is that it never stops learning. Every new choice is the beginning of a new path.